We could not buy a bite on topwater today, but they were busting all around us. So what did we do? We pulled out the Fluke, and man, do I got a retrieve for you. This is one of my favorite retrieves when it comes to a Zoom Fluke or any countless numbers of soft plastic jerkbaits. Now, this retrieve works extremely well when, for whatever reason, they're busting, but you can't get them to hit that walking bait or that topwater. This is a retrieve that you are going to fish very fast, and it's going to cause this bait to do some pretty neat things. Now, I've got a couple of different baits that I like to use. Zoom is one of them. I don't have any Zooms with me. And one of the reasons why I like to use Zooms is because they are buoyant. But this is actually a Ramsey bait. Now this is a little less buoyant because I had him fill this full of salt and sand for me to get it down a little bit deeper. But this is one of my favorites to use, or the regular Zoom Fluke. Now this is the junior in the caffeine shad. And again, ghost shad, you'll notice I love this color in the clear water. This is another good one. You'll have to reel it a little bit faster again to keep it up because it is full of salt and sand. The next one that I like, and I'm just giving you some that you guys can use, really just use your favorite soft jerk bait. Pretty much any of them will work with this particular retrieve and setup. Now this one's a little more buoyant. This is the Damiki Armor Shad. This is the 5-inch version. Some of the parts and pieces of this will be slightly different based on if it sinks or if it floats. Now, if you want some incredibly wild, some really insane action, and it stay a little under the water, we'll talk about that a little bit more here in a minute, this is your go-to. This is the XZone Whiplash Shad. Now, I'm going to show you the options of rigging this. I will tell you, this is generally my favorite, but I want to show you on a Fluke style bait first. So rigging this, the very first thing you're going to want is a bigger than normal heavy swivel. Now, I'll go with a couple of different sizes, and the reason why is because if I've got a bait that's more buoyant, I want more weight. If I've got a bait that's less buoyant and it's going to sink, I want less weight. So you can rig this up on a bait caster or a spinning reel. I'm going to go ahead and rig it up on a spinning reel to kind of show you that you can do it on each. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut about 3.5 feet of line. Then I'm gonna go ahead and tie the swivel on to the main line, and we're just gonna tie the old piscine on both sides. Just because it's quick. Now hooks are gonna matter too. Generally, I like a 4 or 5/0. I love the Mustad grip pins for this. Helps keep that Fluke up there. Or I think this is maybe a Gamakatsu, and it's made for this sort of thing. It's got a longer, shank right there that just helps keep it up. But again, if I'm fishing a buoyant, I'm gonna go with that 5/0. If I'm fishing at one that sinks, I'm gonna go with that 4/0. So all we're gonna do is tie a piscine knot here, about 5 revolutions through the top loop, cinch it down, and cut. Now we're going to put the bait on. So this is made perfectly for a Fluke, as you can see. So we're going to go through the middle. We're going to go straight out the center, all the way down. Perfect over the knot. And then with this retrieve, you don't really have to bury it, but I am going to skin hook just a touch. So let's talk about rod, reel, and line for a second. Now this is a Cassia. This is a core. It's a medium, heavy, fast, because when they come up and hit, I want to be able to set the hook on them, drive it home, and fight these fish. They're going to be super aggressive because they're chasing shad on top of the water. But it's got plenty enough tip for me to be able to make the longest cast that I could possibly make with it. One of my favorite things is all of the casting rods are 100% American made. But again, this is a 7-foot medium fast action. Now I've got that coupled with the Lose Custom Pro. This is a Speed Spin Custom Pro. Great reels. I've had a bunch of them. They've changed them up. A couple of new versions are out, but I'll put links in the description for all of this stuff, by the way. And like I always say, we like to keep everything free. So no memberships, no Patreon, that sort of stuff. So we include all you geeks out there. If you still want to support the channel, the easiest way to do it is bookmark This Tackle Warehouse. And when you go and bookmark that, you can use it anytime when you're going to buy anything. It doesn't cost you an extra penny, not 1 red cent does it cost you, other than you buying the bait you were going to buy anyway. Last but not least, line's important. I like to use 8 or 10 pound test. Now this is a good place to be able to use K9's Fluoro, which is a co-poly, because it's neutrally buoyant. It's a really good line, and there's a 10% code right here for you to go test it out. So this little rig, like I said, the swivel is nothing more than a weight. It also does help keep it from getting, any sort of line twist. And then you have the hook. And it is very important to get both of these right, depending on what you want the bait to do. Really, fishing this, I love to throw it when they're busting, and I'll make a long cast out there to them. I'll let it sink down for just a split second. I hold my rod tip low to the water, and I just start reeling. Now, if it comes up and busts through the water a little bit, comes to the top, I may stop it for just long enough for it to sink back down, and I'll start reeling like it's on fire again. A lot of times, that pause after it busts, and once it falls down, is when you get clocked by these bass. This is really a do-nothing way to fish. The bait has a great sort of S-curve action when it's coming through the water, and then it'll pop out of the water. So it's got an incredible fleeing bait fish action. Like I said, you can rig this up on a casting rod. I like to put it on a spinning rod because I can make longer casts to those bass that are busting. But again, you're going to make a long cast, let it sink for a second. You're just going to start reeling. It'll start coming through the water, and then it'll pop out of the water. Then you'll stop for just a second and start reeling again, rod tip low. Once you feel that bite load, just come straight up over your head, set the hook, and get them to the boat. Now you're fishing with a spinning rod, so fight those bass. They can be some big ones, and they can be pissed because they were thinking they were getting a nice juicy bait fish. Instead, they got stabbed in the face with a hook. All right, go ahead and get your net, or go ahead and get over there and grab them by your thumb. Get them in the boat. Single hook, not too dangerous. So I can't take credit for this, and guys, I am sick. I know, you hear my voice. It is probably fingernails on a chalkboard for some of you, and I do apologize. But I can't take credit for this setup. This is actually a rig that was taught to me by the Ledgehead guy, Tim Saylor. It is a rig that is used a lot in North and South Carolina on the herring lakes down there using a fluke. They like it reeled quick. They like it reeled fast, and you get it to, pop on the surface, stop and go. I mean, as you can see, we had several hits just kind of playing around right here. But when they won't hit that top water like they were today, this is the way to go. They're still aggressive. And just between me and you can downsize this, and it works pretty good too. We'll talk about that in another video. Anyway, if you want to see another incredible rig using minnow style baits or flukes, go check out the Finesse double fluke rig. Don't call it a donkey rig. I can't. It's always been a double fluke rig. It's a double fluke rig. It ain't no donkey rig. Right here. Otherwise, Questions, comments in the comment section below. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell and you get the notifications to be part of the 100% Watch Squad. And you geeks, get us to 90K. You geeks rock.